It's been a very odd week for theme parks across the globe, because we've had the good news of names being revealed for a plethora of brand new rides coming to the UK, and they're interesting, to say the least. We've had the weird news of 2 individual roller coasters getting stuck at a theme park in Europe that also had a coaster there get stuck last week. And we've had some sad news as well, where 2 very famous rides finally officially closed, and one of them will not be replaced and will just sit not operating forever. It's been a strange one, because all that and even more has happened this past week in theme parks. Welcome back to the series that has an intro that 90% of the population dance to when they hear it. This past week in theme parks, where we take a look at the news at theme parks at the past week. That doesn't make sense. And oh boy, it has been a weird one. So be sure you watch till the end so you don't miss anything. Be sure to subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. And also be sure to go and pick up some merch if you haven't already as well. It would be greatly appreciated. Either way, there is so much news to cover this evening. It's not even the evening. Am I a proper news channel now? But with there being so much, there's only one way we can get through it all very quickly, with the quick fire news segment. Let's do this! And first of all, we begin in Asia. Yes, we don't really start here often, but we are today, because there's some interesting updates over there. First of all, at Tokyo Disneyland, where they have announced that the brand new Wreck-It Ralph attraction will officially open in spring 2027 as part of the entire Tomorrowland redevelopment, which has also meant they're building that massive space mountain, which, spoiler alert, Intamin have designed a launch track where you're going to sit there and then aim up to the sky and shoot off. What an incredible piece of engineering. Over in China at Chimelong Paradise, their old 10 looping coaster, which was removed to make way for a brand new dive coaster that they're moving from elsewhere in the park, that has been pictured elsewhere now, pieced up like a little Lego set or something, even though some of these images look like it's just been chucked on a street. And that coaster is actually being shipped off and has arrived in India to be built as a new roller coaster in VGP Universal Kingdom, not to be confused with Universal Studios United Kingdom. Good to see that coaster being put to some good use elsewhere. And the last story from China probably didn't happen in the past week, but it feels like one of those Top Gear things, you know, when they go, oh, I went on the internet and I found this, because I saw this. A roller coaster that's so rough that they're providing neck pillows in the baggage hold. I can't lie, that makes me want to ride this coaster more. But tell you something that I don't really want to ride because they look really weird. SBF Visa's brand new ride concepts. I don't really know where this slots in. America, Asia, wherever. This area doesn't exist, it's just SBF Visa the country. But they have shared various new concepts for flat rides and roller coasters, and as you can see, some of them look pretty cool and others, what does that even do? And do you really have to wear those helmets? And then, you know, you got some slightly weird but still nice looking ones, and then whatever the hell this is. You know those old roundabouts you used to get in the playground back when you were a kid, and you used to spin round on it, and it was on like a slight angle? That thing looks like one of them with a spinning train on it, and I don't know how to feel about that. But either way, we're now going to fly over to Europe. I was actually going to fly over to America 2 seconds ago, but I've changed my mind, because as you can see, I'm repping them. Disneyland Paris, they have now shared a brand new map of Adventure World, and it makes you really miss the old tram tour that's now Cars Road Trip, because my god, it's such a downgrade now. But that looks really cool. We've had some first looks into the actual Frozen Ever After ride itself, and we've even had confirmation from the park that the Ratatouille dark ride will actually be reopening earlier after its refurbishment on the 27th of March rather than the 10th of April. And I get that totally, because if you're going to open a brand new park, per se, Adventure World, and open these brand new rides and everything, and then one of your major rides, the Ratatouille one, is shut. Not a good look on your park's opening day, but nice to see them opening it up earlier. Something that should have been done earlier was the fact that Parc St. Paul, also in France, have only just removed their Formula 1 roller coaster that had a really bad accident on it a few years back. It appears that that coaster is now actually being removed from the park for good. Plopsa Deutschland are busy testing their brand new 100% Wolf coaster that has now seemingly done a full circuit test, and this thing actually looks really, really good for a family coaster. 100 likes and I will go and ride 100% Wolf, and I'm sure it would get a 100 out of 10 rating from me. Europa Park in Germany are busy building their Western themed hotel and resort, Silver Lake City, as you can see from these amazing images here. And Energylandia in Poland had 2 roller coasters get stuck in very different places, not even a week since Zadra got stuck at the same park. So obviously we know that Zadra did valley in one of its actual valleys, because that makes the most sense. That was last week. This week, Mayan, their Vekoma SLC, decided to also valley in one of the valleys on the ride, which is a good thing because that means less people are riding it that day, meaning less people are getting their heads bashed in. And you know, it's quite cold weather, that's understandable, it's gotten stuck, they'll just crane it back out again like they did with Zadra. But right before that, Hyperion, their tallest coaster at the park and one of the tallest in Europe, decided, why can't I have a day off as well? So it had to be a little bit different, so instead of getting stuck at one of the bottom of the drops or maybe towards the end of the ride, it got stuck there. Right on the top of one of its tallest elements. And the mind-boggling physics that would take to actually have that stall up there, a very low chance of that happening. Due to the cold weather, you would have thought it would have stopped at least on a valley beforehand. No, it got stuck there, and it got stuck there for an entire day. That's an RMC, an SLC, and an Intamin Hyper all getting stuck within a week. What's next? Place your bets in the comments below. With that being said, we're now going to travel over to America. Yeah, a very strange way of doing this episode, but just run with it, okay? We'll get to the UK in a bit. Well, first of all, in California at Six Flags Magic Mountain, X2, their very crazy ride that spins you around and flips you so intensely. They've actually had a delivery of a brand new chassis that has come out of refurbishment, and now that should hopefully be running 2 trains again very soon. Alabama Adventure have given an update on Rampage's Retrack, saying in a comment section on Facebook, we do have plans to reopen it, but we aren't sure we're going to be able to. The retracking we were hoping to do just cost more than expected. It may take some time. We're still hoping for 2027. Good to see some openness from that park, but it is weird just seeing that in a Facebook comment section, because surely that's just announcement worthy to tell everyone. But fair play, hope that gets done soon. Tormenta Rampaging Run at Six Flags over Texas has had its opening date somewhat revealed, because an ACE Spring Conference was announced for this year in May, specifically the 15th to the 17th, and they pretty much advertised it as if you come to this conference, you're going to get to ride Rampaging Run. Meaning, because this is in conjunction with the park, that means that coaster should be open by May. Thank you, ACE, for letting us in on this information. That is going to be one tall dive coaster to ride, and it's going to be a very tall ride over at Six Flags Great Adventure as well, because a notice of proposed construction or alteration was put in for a huge 450-foot tall crane to be put up on site for this brand new roller coaster. Now, before you get your hopes up of, oh my god, it might be King Dakar's height, like around 400 odd feet. Supposedly, from previous reports, King Dakar's crane that was used to make that height was 520 feet. So if this one is 450 foot tall, we might actually see this coaster less than 70 feet away from beating King Dakar's height, which I mean is pretty cool, the fact that they've kept that sort of height element to it. You used to go down that launch, catapult over the top hat, and this time you're going to be catapulting towards a spike, or a spire, some might call it. And it might be a little bit spooky and spinny, could be a phantom spire, and that will probably be the max height of that, and we should see construction start for that very soon. Construction could also be starting soon at Walt Disney World in the Magic Kingdom for the brand new Cars Land and Villains Land, because the permit was filed to sort of label where all the facilities are going to be. And shout out to Disney Newscast, as you can see, here is a map laying out all those facilities. They might not be buildings for the ride, or rides, because this is talking about both those new lands, so it's a lot of work that needs to be done, but I'm sure it will actually be really good when it does get done. Disney haven't been filing for just permits, they've also been filing for patents. This one being for a brand new ride system where it's going to have like an arm that sort of controls the way your vehicle goes, and it will sort of run along a track on the side, and then you'll be sort of floating above other things, I guess, on what looks to be a bike of some sort, or it could even be for some sort of Avatar-esque ride, flying on the back of a banshee. If it is that, knowledge. But that's quite exciting for the future. But speaking of the future of Disney, they made a big step towards their future this past week by closing Dinosaur at Animal Kingdom in Florida. Designed by the Walt Disney Imagineers, this ride opened back in 1998 and saw guests sit in this Jeep and travel through time to go back to the prehistoric ages where the dinosaurs are, hence why it's called Dinosaur. And they go on this adventure and try and find all these different dinosaurs and all that kind of stuff. It was such an action-packed ride, and it genuinely, when the first time I did it, it really scared me because I had no idea what was going on. But this has been such a classic ride and area in general for Animal Kingdom and Walt Disney World, and we obviously saw very recently the Tropical Americas being teased at that park that would eventually replace Dinosaur and Dinoland. And the future is now the present, because Dinosaur has now officially closed, with its final day getting around 200 to 250 minute wait times, and also having a whole heap of technical issues as well. But just like that, Dinosaur is now closed, and it's even off the app completely. Yep, they've already removed it. Really sad to see, of course, but when you have the Encanto ride to look forward to and the Indiana Jones overlay of Dinosaur will be very good in their own ways, and I am very interested to see how they pull it off. We'll wait and see. At least something is replacing it, and it's not just going to sit there not operating forever, because that is exactly what a roller coaster here in the UK is going to do now it's closed. I did a full video speaking about this, but if you don't know, Scenic Railway at Dreamland Margate, the classic wooden roller coaster, the oldest roller coaster in the UK, has been officially announced to close permanently. And jokingly in that video I did say, oh, let's RMC it guys, let's reopen it as a roller coaster. It's pretty obvious they don't want to do that, and they'll probably turn the station area and stuff into a bar/stage venue and make the coaster a brand new walkway that you can go around and get a cool view of the stage for more money. I am very intrigued to see what they do with that coaster going forward. It is grade 2 star listed, so they can't actually do anything with it, even if they wanted to. But hopefully it gets a good send-off, and hopefully they don't just leave it there to rot and do absolutely nothing. Sad to see that history isn't being preserved over there, but it is being preserved over at Alton Towers, because recent posts have suggested that the Corkscrew at the front entrance will actually be receiving an entirely new repaint, presumably just to the same colour scheme, just looking a lot fresher. But it's just nice to see them actually taking care of something historic. Thought I'd also let you know that Alton Towers right now are doing an insane deal, and no, I'm not sponsored, where if you book a short break at the park by March 1st, you get a free Essentials Merlin annual pass. I mean, that's just bonkers. Those things literally let you in for most days of the year, and they're offering it just if you book a short break. That is crazy. I would say fair play to Towers, but I don't know if it's just the fact that Merlin are struggling at the moment or not. But Merlin are also struggling a lot with how to go about their ride access pass system, and I've seen a lot of discourse online about it, so I feel as though I do need to tell you all the information regarding the changes they've made. Pretty much, Merlin Entertainment sent out this email here that basically says that Nimbus have announced an important update, where the existing standing and queuing symbols on the Nimbus card will now be split into two distinct categories: difficulty standing and difficulty with crowds. The change is a direct result of the scheme's growth and the shared commitment to providing the most accurate and helpful information possible to cardholders and venue partners, and at the end stated that from the 2nd of February 2026, Merlin will be accepting the following Nimbus symbols for RAP eligibility: difficulty standing, level access, and urgent toilet needs. So if you do have the difficulty with crowd symbol on your Nimbus card, you can now no longer get a ride access pass from that. The booking system for days that you go and visit, trying to book the ride access pass for those days, that has changed now as well. And like I said, with those changes, they are now receiving a lot of uproar online, where we've even seen a petition go out with thousands of signatures on it already, and rightfully so, because I just feel that Merlin have never really perfected the ride access system at all, and accessibility in general is not up to the same standards of the likes of Universal or Disney. And I get it's a budget thing and all these other reasons, but it's just they need to sort it out, and I do hope they offer a proper explanation for all these changes later down the line. But let's talk about something a little more exciting. Chessington World of Adventures are of course opening the brand new Paw Patrol world. I call it a world, not a land anymore. We'll get onto that. Opening in spring 2026, they shared images of this huge tower with a slide going down it that actually looks quite fun, being topped off, and they have actually come very far in the progress of construction with this project, to the point where they have now revealed all the different names for all the rides and the area. We have Marshall's Fire Truck Rescue, which is going to be the Jungle Bus re-theme. I'm so happy Jungle Bus is staying around, guys. Best ride at the park. Zuma's Hovercraft Adventure, which is the sort of drift ride that we've seen in all the plans, which is the first of its kind for the UK, if you don't count the old American whip rides, which I don't think count in this instance. Sky's Helicopter Heroes, where the riders are going to be climbing aboard Sky's iconic helicopter and take to the skies. A lot of skies in there. There's only one sky above my head, I'm confused. And the roller coaster that is actually quite small, but it's the biggest ride in that world, is going to be called Chase's Mountain Mission, a high-speed rescue vehicle and entry-level roller coaster to help Chase and Everest save the day. Chase and Everest. If Chase is a dog, why is he being helped by a mountain? New concept art has been shown for that, and we've also seen various construction images, like I've said, and they officially revealed that the area itself is going to be called the World of Paw Patrol. And spoiler alert, if you don't want spoilers for the next many years, I think we can tell where Chessington are going with the park. You had the World of Jumanji in 2023, the world of Paw Patrol in 2026. We're of course seeing Minecraft in 2027 or 8, which I presume would be called the world of Minecraft. And past that point, we'll probably see many more worlds introduced, which is very intriguing because once again, it's that issue of, oh, we have an epic universe that has a dark universe inside of it. Oh, we have an adventure world with the world of Frozen inside of it. Now we have Chessington World of Adventures that has worlds inside of it. It's all so confuzzling. But to be fair, the new area at Chessington does actually look really, really nice. And I'm intrigued to see what those rides are like when it does open, because you never know. The mountain coaster with Everest and Chase might have about 15 pre-shows where you have to climb up Mount Everest and stuff. You never know. What do you guys think to all of the news I have covered in this episode? Leave your thoughts in the comments below and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode. Because as you can see behind me, things are changing and I'll reveal all very soon. Goodbye.